lately, but I can get what
Hi, and thank you so much for joining me for today's episode of Working in my new April junk journal. Today I am making a little interactive folder that was inspired by Easy Bee Craft Creations. I will link her video below. And so she makes this little folder in which she can then put the various tags, and I really like how she did it, and so I'm making my own version of it. And here you can see I'm using two different die cuts, but no worries if you don't have a die cut machine. All of this is doable by cutting out things just with your scissors. I'm just using it because I have it and I want to use my dies, but I will link those below as well in case you do have a die cut machine, but you can totally make this without. So I'm using this one die cut as a template, so I know that so I know what size my little booklet has to be. And I chose this cardstock because it was one where I liked both the front and the back. And I just want to fold it in half, but since this cardstock kind of always cracks when you fold it, I had gotten the tip from someone to score it first, and it actually works, then it doesn't crack. So I was just trying to find the middle, and I scored that, and then I folded it, and there were no cracks, so that's an awesome tip. So next I just check that the size is good, and it was, and I wanted to ink the edges, and then I remembered I actually wanted to round the corners, so I do that first. It just gives it a more finished look. So now I ink them. And now I take my die cut machine, and so I have this one die cut where you can make slits into a card. Easy Bee was using one where she already had several slits in the card, but I only have one. Like, you can do one slit at a time, so that's what I'm doing here. I wanted 3 slits in this card, so I just ran it through my die cut machine 3 times to get all of those. So this is now the second time, and I'm positioning. I mean, the nice thing about this die cut is, of course, that you can position the slits anywhere you want, whereas hers are fixed where they are. And if you don't have a die cut machine, you can just use your Stanley knife to make a little insert. That would work just as well. Of course, this is nice because it has a fancy little bows there, but yeah, you do what you can with what you have, right? I didn't always have this machine either. And now now I'm using this other die cut with it, which is which is basically just a little pocket. And so now before I'm folding the pocket, I had to actually make a decision on what was going to be the inside and what was going to be the outside, so that I knew how to fold the pocket. And I made the decision to have the pink on the outside, and so now I knew how I had to fold this, and I'm just folding those end pieces down. And of course you could just cut this out yourself. I'm sure if you're used to crafting, you've done a million of these. And I'm just placing it there, and I realized that I don't really like that back part showing, and it adds extra unnecessary bulk. So I decide to just cut that off, but just leaving that little piece there so I can fold that up. And I'm just cutting the corners so that it folds up more easily. And I like that much better. So of course I'm inking this up as well. Both of them, including the slits, which is, you have to be careful not to fold it too much or tear it. And then I just glue those 3 sides down. And by making these little wings on the back, it gives you more space in the pocket than if you would just glue the cardstock down without those. So here I'm just going around the edges with some glue because I do want to stick some ephemera in there, so I couldn't just glue the whole thing up. So that's the basis of my folder that's ready. And now I was thinking, well, it needs some sort of a closure. So the quickest thing I could think of was to use my small hole punch and to just punch a hole right through both of those, front and back, and to just take some twine and to string it through the front part and one for the back part, just like you would string it through a tag actually. Just pull that through, do the same thing on the other side, and then I could use those to tie a bow to close it. So then I wanted to find something to decorate the front with, so I'm going here through my floral cutouts, and this is again the wildflower book that I got used from Amazon. I will link it again below for Amazon.com and Amazon.de, which is in Germany if you're in Europe. And I choose this one, which I thought went really well, and of course I'm inking it up, and I'm just going to glue that down. By the way, I'd like to hear from you if you guys think my videos are too fast, because for me, of course, it's obvious what I'm doing, and I don't want to bore you. I don't want to keep you too long and show you tasks that are kind of like no-brainers too long. But if this is too fast, please let me know, and I can definitely slow them down. I'm trying to find the right speed, because I know there's some beginners watching, and I know there's some advanced crafters watching, and I'm trying to make it work for everyone. So for the inside, I also chose one of my floral images, and I wanted to back it with the same cardstock I used for the folder. So I knew I didn't have a lot of space on the right and left to have a border, because that pocket was quite tight. So I cut it how I thought it would work, and just inking and gluing again. And as I wanted to put it in, I realized it was actually too wide. So, but I didn't want to lose the image, so I decided to just cut the whole thing, just cut around the whole image, and just leave the backing because I didn't want to risk tearing the floral image. And instead I'm using my beige marbled cardstock. By the way, I got this locally from my workplace, so unfortunately I cannot link that. So now everything is more narrow because I've cut the image down. I'm again inking, and this time I'm smart enough to check first if it actually fits, and it does. And now I'm just gonna glue that piece on there, and it's a little thicker, but that's totally okay. Okay, so that was fine. And now I wanted to find some ephemera for the right side for those little slots. And I went through my little ephemera box, and I had some like different pieces of book pages and random paper where I had stamped on some mushroom images, which I will also link below, those 3 mushroom stamps. And all I'm doing is for the one that was a pretty sturdy cardstock, so I didn't need to do anything besides cut it down and ink it. But this one and the other one are on fairly thin pages, so I wanted to back it up. Excuse me, back it with the beige cardstock as well, and inking it up as well. And now I'm just gonna stick those in there, doing the same thing here. And by the way, I just want to say I appreciate all of your comments so much. And I hope you're noticing that I am trying to reply to every comment, or at least like the comments. And if I don't get to it, then it's not because I'm ignoring it, but it's because YouTube is not sending me all the comments. So what I'm having to do is go back to each video and check all of the comments manually, basically. And it could be that I missed some. So it's taking me a lot of time. But I do try to catch all the comments, and as I said, I very much appreciate them, and I appreciate you. And I wanted to say welcome to all my new subbies. So this is really awesome, and I love our community, and I love sharing, and yeah, I appreciate all your tips that you're giving me as well. So that's really, really awesome. Going back to the video now, I've picked some more floral images, and I've picked two more die cuts that I will use for those. And I also have this brand new tag punch, which is 1.5 inches, and I got this locally, so I also can't link that, but I'm guessing you could find that on Amazon or someplace. And it's a really cute size, I think, for tags, so I made one to also stick there on the right side because I thought it needed another pop of color. And I just wanted to add a few more bits because I just think it's fun when you have a folder with a lot of different sized and colored pieces. Excuse me. So now I'm just punching a little hole through that, and I will again use some twine to just thread through the top there, and this time I just make a little bow, just because I think it's cute. And I'm gonna stick that there. Sorry, that was cut off a little bit. So now I take two more of those floral images and I just place those die cuts on top, run it through the machine, and of course you can cut these out by hand. You can use like a little whatever round image or something that you have, round like a glass or whatever. You'll find something that has a round shape and just trace around it and cut it. And I did the same thing with the cardstock, so I could back both of those tags so they wouldn't be so flimsy. So I'm just now gluing those together, and obviously I'm going to be inking those up again. So now I was trying to figure out how to place them in the pocket, and that one, I wanted something on that little pocket. It was kind of too bare. And one of those was going to go on the right hand side in one of the slots. So again, so I'm just adding the twine, sticking that in. I thought that's really cute. And the round one I'm also going to attach the twine, and then I thought, where do I put it? But I do end up putting it on the pocket, and I'm just again gonna make a little bow. I'm just gonna glue that on with my tacky glue. And that's the inside of the folder done. I really love how that turned out. That's so cute. And you can also use these kind of folders, of course, for Happy Mail or something. That would be really cute as well. All right, so now what's left to do is to, oh yeah, here I'm closing it. And next I have to then attach it to my journal. So this is now in between the first and second page of my journal, and I'm just going to use some washi. If I find that, I will link that down below as well because it's a really pretty washi. And I'm just gonna stick that down in the middle with the same washi on both sides. always having more problems with the second side with the washi. And that completes the little booklet. Love how it turned out. Hope you got some inspiration. Hope you will try something like this for your own journal, and hope to see you back in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Something, let it go.